Better.
Okay. Is that
I have.
probably had adults telling you, oh, don't cry, they're going to be home tomorrow, or you'll see them again, or there's no telling what you were told.
Hmm.
And there's no telling what your little brain did with what you were told because you were in a family of a lot of drama and a lot of emergencies, and there is no telling what happened to you that you may not even recall that set this pattern into place. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I think the one where brings the subsequent episodes are traumatic, but I just get like images and there's not a lot of emotion to them, except the emotion I can remember. But the one
Okay.
30 days old, that one is there's just so much. That one I can't remember the incident, but I definitely, I mean, the one I remember that is, and I'm not remembering when I feel that, I should say. It's just my eyes just start to tear up, and it's just like then all the emotions there, but I can't tell
Mm-hmm.
you what I was feeling, or it's just more,
Okay.
yeah,
Do you see the images?
no
Do
images.
you actually, okay, do you actually recall that event or were you just told about it?
I knew I was told about it, and when we started doing the work and trying to go back to the original, is like memory, but it felt it didn't have a lot of feeling to it, no feeling. And once we
Right.
started talking about
Mm-hmm.
that one, it was like there's all the feeling. And I think the rest of it was just subsequent.
Mm-hmm. Right. And what they did was just reinforce the original one, but I still think that the original one, there was still a carryover from the lineage
Oh, I
of
see.
this. And that's why your mom would have been more along, well, and all mothers her age and farther back in time were taught that. They were taught not to pick up their kids. They were taught to leave them crying in the bed and all kinds of things like that. That's what they were taught to do. But see, that just reinforced in the lineage that you're not cared for and you're not loved because a baby needs to be held and loved. A baby only cries when it's needing something or it has traumas that it's carried over that's still not cleared out of its energy field. And that's why energy work is as important for a baby as it is for a grown-up. Because if they've carried stuff over into this new birth lifetime, it's going to affect the baby and cause all kinds of problems. So go ahead.
So
What do you
it's very,
recall?
getting up and getting a lot of emotion when you said, and when you feel like love, because it's just like, holy shit, that's the origin of it, see? Because as an adult,
Mm-hmm.
I've never been able to feel that love. Even though it's there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking it out beyond a shadow of a doubt, is like the feeling part is the one that causes the most issue because I can't feel it.
Well, and the reason you can't feel it is because as an infant, most infants have an open heart and it's like they're yearning because that is a need of being human is to be connected and loved and held and touched. And that's what babies need. And when that's not given to them, they have to figure out a way to survive and stay alive. And the way that they do that is they stuff their emotions. They learn to not feel that pain of not getting what they need. So it's not surprising to me that you can't feel the emotion of it and that it is triggering tears because we're kind of touching into that stored emotion that's needing release. You're going to have a release of probably a lot of pain. It's going to feel like pain and sadness and loneliness and all of the feelings that would go around not getting the love you needed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's like I feel like I'm at the center of it right now, like at least mine,
Okay.
and it's mine.
Okay. Okay. Well, just keep breathing into it and seeing what you can feel because See if you can describe, is it loneliness, is it pain, is it yearning for something you don't have? Can you tell anything about it?
Well, the way it feels is one. It's not unlovable. I don't think it feels. It's like the lack of being loved. It's just like uh, it's just missing. It's just this big, huge gap,
Mm-hmm.
and it just
Do
feels
you,
a lot of loneliness. Just not mature loneliness. It's more like void and absence.
mm-hmm.
And
Oh, and what else you keep going into it and see what you can feel. Remember to breathe. Keep breathing. See if you get any images while you're thinking.
well, the only images that I got was Richie House, Richie.
Oh, like a baby would have their arms wanting to be held.
And as an adult, I often feel like if I need something, or if I want somebody's love, or if I'm feeling vulnerable, I feel like I'm reaching and I'm not going to be able to withstand that person not responding. It's just too painful to reach out.
Right.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Go into it.
it's just too painful to reach out. I can, and what thoughts are happening? I want some, just to reach, like a stretching of, to reach someone.
Well, and see, that's a small child's only way of asking
Yeah.
to be touched and held and given the stuff that they need to feel connected. And when it's denied,
Uh-huh.
you're feeling what you feel, and then you carry it on. And when someone leaves that you're connected to, you get that same feeling again. So see how much of it you can go into and feel. See if you can connect any of the feeling of reaching your arms up to the feeling of when someone leaves the house.
Here, yeah, absolutely. It's like that's when
Okay?
I start to get so boarded up, and I'll just like my attitude completely changes, and
How?
as an adult, I'll just do stuff to protect me. Like I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Distract yourself, play music, do something else,
So that's so you can't feel,
or
do you think now?
yeah, of course, or to think through it. A lot of it that I didn't realize was such I think the word yearning encompasses, but such a unfulfilled, such a desperation. That's the word.
Mm-hmm. It's like a vacant
Desperation.
hole.
Yeah, it's like desperation. So like the reaching turns more into grabbing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because it becomes an obsession. Because
Yes.
over the years of not getting that, if you find something that may give that to you, you're going to latch onto it and become obsessed with it. And if you get just a little bit from it, that's going to increase your obsession for it,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that you're going to be able to fulfill the void that you have inside yourself.
Yeah, it's never ending.
Do you have the mental concept enough of seeing where this feeling is coming from
Yeah.
that if you could fill that void, that feeling would go away and you wouldn't be as attached to other people when they leave? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely like
Now, the key to filling up that void that is within you, that, and it is like a void, but it's like a void that is constantly in action, and it needs to be filled. And in order to fill it, a person has to develop self-love, because that's the only thing you can fill it with that won't dissipate or go away.
that.
Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Hmm.
And I know we've been working on your self-love for a while now, and you've definitely improved tremendous amount of it. And that's what we're going to have to continue to work on, because you're still having the obsession, what would we call it, grabbing on to anything that can kind of give you that need, fulfill that need. It could be a partner, it could be a friend. And as an adult, you probably don't have a lot of friends. Is that true? Mhm. Because you are protecting yourself. That's a survival technique. Can you see that?
Yeah, absolutely. And because I make the bonds that I do tend to make with people, they're just, um, I have the ability to make very, very strong bonds very, very quickly. Because
Mhm.
if if I reach out and it's receptive, then it's like I hang on extremely tight.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. See, it would only almost be like you send a connection out to that person in order to keep them tied in, because they're starting to fill that void you have. But as we have discussed before, you already know that that person can turn around and walk away, and then that what little bit they filled in the void is gone, and it devastates you because the connection is broken, and you're no longer getting anything from them. So that's why the self-love is so important, because we are all connected and we are all one and we're all from the same source. But being in the fact that we are on earth in a human transport, our spirit comes in and is given a car, the human body, to be physical in, we feel separate from everyone. And that is what increases that need for us all to be connected. You see?
Yeah.
So it is only natural that being in the victim survival mode, you're going to latch on to anyone that even attempts, that you think could even start to fulfill your void. I mean, that's just a natural instinct for a soul to do that doesn't understand what's going on. And that is the process of moving out of the victim survivor mode into the healing mode, is to have the awareness, like you do now, and knowing that no one else can fulfill that for you, that you have to fulfill that and remember that you're worthy and that you're loved and that you are whole and complete all in yourself.
But what do we do with that baby?
I'm sorry?
What do we do with that baby? And what do we do with that?
Well, we have to heal the baby.
Because the cognitive
So we,
knowledge of it doesn't help it out any.
exactly. So the way that we take care of the baby is, when you're ready, and you may be right now, is you go back to that baby as the adult that you are now, because you have developed enough self-love to be confident and centered in your own power. You've taken back some of your power. You've taken back, you are claiming your own power, and you're centered and grounded, and you're able now to know, and you understand the principles. So now we can take you back. It's kind of like traveling back in time, and you're going to go back to that infant, and you're going to hold her, and you're going to just continue to pour love into her and rock her and let her do whatever she wants to do with you. Hold her tight. And in that manner, you are healing her so that she doesn't stay, if you can think of it this way, like on a timeline. You're going back to the beginning, and you're taking your inner children at all different ages, because you have many different inner children. And you're going to take the earliest one that you see and feel, and you're going to hold her, and you're going to love her for as long as she needs it. You're going to pretend maybe like you're in a rocking chair. And I mean, you could literally be in a rocking chair as you do this, but it's more of a mental visualization and a trying to feel and give her love and give her support and let her know that you're always going to be there for her, because now you're the one in charge. You're the adult, and you can take care of her. And she needs to develop that trust that you will be there, unlike what happened to her originally. Okay, so go back to her and sit with her, pick her up. She's got her, I mean, are we going back to the 3-day-old?
Yeah, we're going to go back to 3. That's where most of it's at.
Okay, because she's just laying in bed probably crying. So you're going to pick her up out of the bed, and you're going to sit in a rocking chair with her, and you're going to cuddle her and love her and caress her and do whatever she's needing. And I need you to just sit and breathe and think about that and do that. And then tell her that you're there so that she can develop that bond with you, that you're always going to be there, and rewrite that story.
I have that image. So just go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Sit with that.
I have to enter through her.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, go on. Just keep breathing. It's okay. Let it all go, because that's what we need to let go. That's what the healing is. And keep breathing, because that's what keeps moving it. And it may be very intense. That's okay. Keep going with it. Keep going with it, because it is. Just cry and let it go, because that's that stored emotion we need out of the energy field. Feel the needs of that baby as she cries, laying there. It's very intense. I feel it too. It's bringing tears. It's bringing tears to my eyes. Keep going with it. Allow yourself to feel it and move the tears and the pain of it. Just let it go. Just step back into her every time you can and feel what she's feeling. All alone and left. Mom's not around. And she's feeling abandoned. She has no support system, no one caring for her, no one she can depend on. Take as deep a breath as you can, because that helps move all the emotion out of your energy field so you can get in touch with it. and at your own speed, and when you're ready, then you can see your adult self coming in to pick her up and rock her.
I can do that.
And the adult you is letting this infant know that you've got her covered and that she's always going to be cared for from now on.